Hello and welcome. It is 10:30 on a Easter Saturday night, and it is time for some Untold Chronicles. Tonight we travel to the beautiful islands of Ionia, where some not so quite beautiful things are happening at the moment. Let us see whether our technology is working first of all. That looks good. We've got everything. We've got video. Think it's all good. We've got audio as well. Thank you very much in chat for joining us. Thank you for watching on video on demand and YouTube. If you are watching on catch up, welcome from the past. Thanks to our players for rapidly recreating their characters on this new Ionia sort of campaign server. Really appreciate you doing that. And as always, we need to say a big thank you to Hero Forge. Many of the character images are designed using Hero Forge, a wonderful way to create your own custom miniatures and get them 3D printed. You can find them at www.heroforge.com. Please note that anything mentioned on the stream may not represent the view or beliefs of Hero Forge, a Sky Castle Studios LLC product. We say it on every stream. They've been very generous to allow us to use their images for characters and NPCs. Go check them out because they've got some absolutely amazing sort of things that you can do on their website with creating characters, and it kind of inspires you as well. You know, oh wow, can design this kind of character and then create the stats afterwards. I quite often like to work off visual aids before I go to actually doing the descriptions. So yeah, check them out. And obviously, we also need to thank our players. So thank you, players. And we're going to do some quick introductions now as well. We'll just do it from left to right. So Lucius, thank you for joining us. Do you want to quickly do an introduction?
Yeah, happy to be here. My name is Kedra. I'll be playing Lucius, the scion of House Ventanus this evening.
Awesome stuff. And then we have Firoz.
Hello, I am Stuart, or Brook729 in chat, and tonight I am playing Firos the Gladiator, or retired Gladiator.
Retired, yeah. Early retirement as well. It sounds very much like certain people want to get you back in the auditorium. Oriana, hello.
Hello, I'm Sarah and I'm Yig in Discord, and yes, I'm playing Urania, who is a Hecate priestess.
Excellent stuff. And then last but not least, Bilios.
Evening all, I'm Andy, and you'll be playing Bilius Brasti, a Satyr rogue, which is always fun.
Okay, excellent stuff. Welcome. As I say, we have a scant amount of time for the Untold Chronicles at the moment, running for only an hour and a half. So without further ado, let us delve into the game itself. First of all, catch up. The protagonists, our heroes here, are investigating a missing child, someone who technically has ran away from home. Their investigations led them to believe he had left for the Valley of Whispers, a place where the dead supposedly can be heard, and he'd been spending substantially more time with a seer, a prophet, a priest of Hades. They made their way towards this locale, encountering a harpy on the way, and managed to defeat it, gathering together some valuables, some trinkets, some coin from her previous victims. Pushing further up the mountain, they finally found the shrine to Hades himself, this cave with the entrance shaped like a skull. Going inside, though, it was not as they anticipated. I have it here for us. They interrupted a ritual going on. The child conducting the main part of the ritual, overseen by the seer. They spoke to the seer, and the seer informed them that the child was a chosen one, but not of Hades, of someone else, a new god, one known to the priests and priestesses, but one that fundamentally is less favoured than Hades alike. Thanatos was his name. They overpowered the seer, and I think, did you subdue the child?
Yep, we use sleep.
Yeah, he's asleep at the moment. So Vaso is asleep. And what did you do to Savis the seer? Did you?
So Savis asleep was knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
I think that the child, when he came out of sleep, was a little bit too talkative for Firos, and Firos knocked him out.
Yeah, fair enough. So he's knocked out. Then Firos and Bilios move further into the shrine, encountering 3 captives here. And speaking with them, it turns out that they are indeed captives, and they would like to be freed. So we'll turn them into green for the moment. So that is where we join the game now. That is where we find our heroes at odds, the rest of the shrine to potentially search, some captives to rescue, and a subdued individual, the sort of late teens Vaso Kalakis, the thing that has led them to this shrine in the first place. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to pass it across to you, our players. Let me know what you want to do next.
Firos is going to go over and start to untie these guys.
Okay. They rub their wrists. They, without any kind of rolls, quite obviously have been here for a while. Not mistreated, but also not particularly well looked after. I believe, Bilios, you recognise Lazarus, another satyr or satyr, and I think you bumped heads in the last session as well.
Yeah, I definitely recognise the lump that is currently forming on my forehead.
He's just got a big grin on his face. It's okay, get me out of here and I'll buy you a drink when we get back. That will ease the pain.
Oh, that I can get behind. Go on, no, other way. Just turn around, damn it.
Kind of wriggles round and go, oh, careful, that's not the rope.
I'll give his tail one more hard tug before I start cutting the rope.
Okay. So it's simple actions to free these individuals. All their stories are very similar. They begin to inform you. We believe that they were going to sacrifice us. He's got a look, a death stare. There's nothing behind the eyes. He truly believes, he enjoys bringing death down upon people. He's dangerous.
Well, he's not going to be a problem for a while.
Sounds like a no, Firoz. Well, he made friends with Firoz's face. No, fist. His face. Firoz's fist. I'm sobering up. It's awful when I start sobering up. I really can't speak.
Yeah, don't swear at me. That S word is a terrible thing.
I know. So we need to sort it soon. But first, do you know who has libations? Priests and gods.
Indeed, and as far as I'm aware, straight ahead to the west, there's a set of stairs, and I've heard water lapping there. I mean, if this was a temple to our god, it would be a pool of wine. Not so much here, though, in Hades' temple, although the child says that it belongs to Thanatos. To the north, though, I think that they have been busy with a shrine. Many items have been scattered around its base. We've watched them carry them through.
Interesting. Anybody fancy pissing off a god? Could be fun.
Well, if it's this one, yes. I think we've already done it by you saving us. We are meant to be prizes of Thanatos, and well, hopefully no more. Not until our due time, anyway.
Right, well, time for the icing on the cake, shall we?
Okay, and as you move forward, you do indeed see that there is a massive statue. It was once Hades, without a doubt, and it's been repurposed, redecorated with the signs and the sigils, blood, to make it look like Thanatos. You can see around the base items of value, but that is
Anything jumping out as being particularly shiny and or interesting?
you are going to literally steal from the shrine of a god in Ionia. You are feeling
What
brave.
could possibly go wrong?
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Absolutely not. But it's either that or I get up on top of there and leave a little present for him.
I don't think that's a good idea either.
No, but it does look fun to climb, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah. Rather than steal, I'm going to start trying to climb the statue.
Okay. So, as you begin to climb the statue, just let me, all over the place at the moment. There we go. Yes, something happens. Boom, 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 boom. Got far too many things out and open. So, as you begin to climb the statue, you trigger something. And this is you, Bilios. A blade begins to sort of swing out, and it forces you to make a dexterity saving throw, which you fail. And the blade slashes you for 4 points of damage as it just cuts deep into you. What's worse, though, is that is enough to cut you, and your precious life force begins to flow down into the mouth of Thanatos itself.
Ow!
What are you doing?
That was climbable. No, out. There's it's sharp. Don't climb on the statue.
It's almost as if the easy
It's
way
covered
up
in
the
blood.
statue.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
The easier way up the statue was the trigger for the trap. You rapidly fell for it.
Get yourself down off there before you hurt yourself more.
I'll do one of my mirthful leaps and just sort of hop my way back down.
Yep, you hop your way back down, no problem, landing delicately. The others kind of follow you through. Yeah, not so easy. Not so easy. I don't know whether we should take from this place. As much as we are upsetting Thanatos by not willingly being sacrificed, it seems taking something from the shrine is just asking for it. I don't know.
It seems that Bilios has left something there in exchange now anyway.
Well, none of those seem to be interested in taking stuff, even if it was their own possessions. And you notice that even Lazarus begins to back up, not wanting any part of this.
Go on, Bilios, let's head back down.
Yes, no, you're probably right. I'll have to find something else to climb. Ow.
Okay. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, back in this other chamber here, Oriana and Lucius, are you particularly doing anything?
So
Go ahead.
you first.
Predominantly just keeping an eye on the bound subjects.
Yep, that's not a problem. None of them are moving at the moment. There is a uneasy feeling about this place.
Does it feel like they've been gone a little too long?
You can hear their mutterings further on. Then you hear a scream or a shout of pain. Something about blood being spilt. Something about whether they should take from this temple or not.
At the shout, I will attempt to sidle my way up there with my old bones.
Okay, yeah. You should be able to move your token if you want to do it, and as you kind of move up, you catch kind of the light. You see some steps going to the west, and you can hear the voices though, not coming from those steps, but coming from this direction here. And then you see them. They seem to have uncovered some other people.
Lucius.
And of course, I
We
come
made
floating in
friends.
with the tensor's disc behind me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah, wonderful. Find anything interesting? Are they useful?
Well, these three people.
And the statue, bad idea.
Statue, you say? Where?
Over that way.
Just over there.
Oh, that is a statue.
Yeah, don't climb on it.
Perish
There's
the
really
thought.
nothing to do.
And once again, sort of as you look at it, it was once Hades, and now it's been repurposed to Thanatos. A large scythe type weapon being held in its hand. You can see scattered around the base a number of coins and items.
If people are just kind of chilling, I'll go ahead and spend the time to ritualistically cast Detect Magic just to see if there's anything actually of worth getting near that thing.
Okay.
Your tensor disc concentration.
That's a good question.
It's worth a quick check. I don't think Tensor's Disc is concentration, but
It is not. Duration 1 hour.
yeah,
Cool.
So that's fine. You do notice that there's a fair amount of coins and a couple of items of value and a couple of items that are magic as well. And I'm going to put all of this now, because you're paying attention to that, into the actual party sheet for you to sort of have a look at. So it's the kind of small vial that seems to have a liquid in it that is glowing magical. And then there is a ring made of gold. You haven't got too close to it. It's all at the base of the statue at the moment. but it is up to you if you wanted to do anything about it. All of these are obviously offerings given to Thanatos.
Not too worried about the coins, but there are a few magic items. There, the statue. Those might be of use to us. And I'll point out the specific ones.
Are you suggesting taking from a god?
A god who defiled another god's temple? Perhaps we gain grace with one while we gain ire of another.
That does seem like a fairly good reason.
Well, we do already have the
I mean, it's
ire
pretty
from
logical.
one.
You reckon something good there, then? You say something about gold ring?
Yes, there's a gold ring, the carved bone statue, that little mask right over there, and then the vial containing what looks to be a potion of some kind.
Who's going to take him then? Who's feeling brave?
I'll grab the ring.
Okay. You move forward. Is there anything you want to say or do, or any prayers that you want to say? Not necessarily to Thanatos or Hades. How are you? Are you just going to take the ring?
Just as I reach forward, just be like, anyone that's listening, wish me luck, and grab it.
Okay. As you grab the ring, something happens. The good news, or maybe bad news, is that you don't notice anything happening. What you notice, Oriana,
Yep.
is the body of Savis begins to twitch, begins to awaken, and begins to rise, seeming to be possessed. You've seen this kind of thing before, the eyes flaring with black fire as it begins to rise. Can I get initiatives from everybody, please? Boom, 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 boom. So I'll just do that as well. So at the top of the round, I mean, as a free action, Oriana, you can potentially shout, so warn the others, or basically everybody up there is not going to know what is going on at the moment.
Yeah, I will shout up to them to get back down here because the body of the seer is rising.
Perfect. So you clearly shout. Ambilius, you hear this.
You wasn't me. It was. Oh.
In fact, it was you. And you hear this shout from Oriana that something is happening to the seer. You have your full turn ahead of you.
Are any of the other magical items within reach of me, or are they sort of spread out?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy, but I mean, it would just be an item interaction, but it means that you've lost that item interaction for the rest of your turn.
No, I'll turn to Firoz and go, well, if we're tidying up, do you want to grab the rest of these? And then 5. Let's see if I can't see anything from where I am. I don't think I can.
Unfortunately not. There's a set of stairs going down. You haven't got the angle. But that is, I think, only a single move, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I hold a arrow if anything that isn't Urania comes up those stairs? I want to shoot it.
Absolutely, if that is your choice. Then we move that. I'm assuming that's the end of your turn then.
Yeah, I'll just shout out to Urania. It's like, what do you mean rising?
We move to Lucius.
Alrighty. I will go ahead and snatch up the mask and the carved statue real quick.
Awesome. I don't know if you know how to do this in Fantasy Grounds, but if you open your character up at inventory, you can drag the brown button with the silver dot in across to your character sheet. That's perfect, and it puts it into your character sheet. So that's
All right.
your item interactions there. Very good.
With that, I'll use my actual action to dash.
Yep.
And as I'm trotting away, Firaz, grab the potion.
Okay.
And
So
I'm good.
30 foot. Very good. Vaso is still unconscious. Oriana, it is your go. Seems your companions don't want to come down here and help you.
Well, it's okay. They've been misbehaving without telling me what they're doing,
Yeah.
which is probably just for the for better deniability. Right. I'm going to I think I'm going to start with Chill Touch because from having swapped over, I'm not sure how many spell slots of first level I have left. So
Yeah.
if I start with
Chill touch, yeah, that is
Yeah.
fine. Now, this is the voice of Thanatos, and currently it acts as if it is an undead creature, just so you're aware of that, because Chill touch affects undead in a slightly different way.
Yes, it has extra ramifications. Right. So I've targeted him. Oh, there we go.
And you miss. Is there anything you can do about increasing that? Just as a reminder, everybody, both in chat and round here, if you are a subscriber, you have one free sort of the ability to donate one free hap point, which is in effect a D20 reroll per calendar month. Or you can sort of donate and get various other sort of re-rolls. So Michael the Grey in chat says, I give a hat point to Oriana. So spending his free sub go, you can, if you want now, do a re-roll with that. You don't have to. You've got a hat point that you can use anytime during this session, in effect. Don't feel like you have to use it now, but it is your choice.
I feel like trying to stop this this guy in his tracks would be a good plan, particularly because I'm the only one here right now.
Absolutely.
Just saying, guys.
And just saying, I think he might be the only
Trying to
person
hint at
here.
something there.
Now, yeah, that is good. It's good for a couple of reasons. Firstly, you hit rather than missed, but it's a 22, and you only missed its armor class by one last time. Its armor class is 12. So with our sort of homebrew rules, you've beat its armor class by 10, which means you've turned that into a critical hit now. So you can double the dice that you would normally get. Oops, I had a flash there. Hopefully my entire computer system isn't going to about to break. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So do you know how to turn the damage into a crit?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Okay, go for it. If it goes wrong, we can change it. Basically, yeah, perfect. That's nice. 13 points of damage. but it seems that it is perhaps resistant to necrotic damage, it being technically undead at the moment.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to do?
No, but it does mean it has disadvantage on any attack rolls it makes against me until the end of my next turn.
Which has got to be good. Very good. Okay, with it going next, it basically a horrible sort of voice whispering towards you. You did not heed the words of my chosen one. I have taken this body to reinforce his will. His voice is my voice, and my voice is that of Thanatos. And with that, there is a spark of necrotic energy that flows around him as he fundamentally casts mage armor on himself to strengthen himself. He does, though, then move towards you. And that is the end of his go. And then we move to Firoz.
Firoz is not overly happy about being given an order by Lucia, but that potion does look rather appealing. And so he's going to item interaction.
Okay.
The potion.
So I just love the fact that the three of you are robbing the shrine whilst a literal voice of Thanatos is has entered his own temple. This is just beautiful. Okay.
Then going to move.
Yep.
And then use my action to dash.
Mm-hmm.
And get to there and go, oh, he's alive again.
And yeah, he's covered in this smoky black mist now as well. It's not looking particularly good. Okay, and then we move to Savas, which is technically him at the moment, but he moves, and then we move to Stathis. Then we go back to the top, and Bilios, it is your go.
Cool. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Move the screen. There we go. Sorry. Oh, he's whoa. Okay. Come up behind Firoz and yeah, no. This guy needs an arrow in him. Oh yeah, we're second level. Yes, I am. Yeah, I would like. Oh no, I'm not a halfling. I can't hide behind creatures, can I?
No.
Damn.
You are in a plain set of stairs, standing well above Firoz. There is no place to hide as you charge down these stairs.
I'll just take a shot at him instead then.
Okay, yep. So you can target him.
Yep. And
that hits. It's not quite a critical hit, unfortunately. You needed a 22 for that, but it's definitely a hit.
25.
With Ionia next to it, is that a sneak attack?
It is. You do get sneak attack.
Cool. I think I've added that on now. Not entirely sure. Let's find out.
Yeah, let us just roll the dice and see what happens. No. That's quite nice. Does resist some of that, but you get to roll it again for the sneak attack damage, so just another d6. Ooh, and it's a 1 point, which is okay. Okay, is that your go?
Radio, watch out! He's up. And that'll be me.
Yeah, and then we move to
You hadn't noticed.
Lucius.
Are you there?
Yep, just scooting up real quick.
Cool.
From there, I suppose I will toll the dead on him.
Okay, yeah, you can see him. So yeah, target him and feel free.
My saves need adjusting. There we go.
So he fails that, and he has been damaged. But unfortunately, we know he's resistant to necrotic damage, so it will be the D12, but he's got a degree of resistance against this. There we go. As you nick him for that amount of damage.
Yep.
Very nice. And then we move to Oriana. It is your go.
I will get my mace ready,
Mm-hmm.
seeing as he's seen fit to come right up into my face, which is rude. And I will say to him that we have heard the words of your chosen one. We are leaving now. They have sacrificed unwilling victims to do your bidding, and that will not be allowed to stand. And if he, already in action, if he goes to attack me either magically or physically, I'm going to smack him in the face with the mace, or try.
Okay, very good. So we then move to the voice of Thanatos, and he kind of leans forward and says, the old gods quake in terror of what is coming. The new gods will take their place, and a new world order will rise. And with that, it doesn't attack you, but it extends its hand, and it's going to cast a spell at your companions. And he basically looks at you. I think, though, we both agree that thieves, temple thieves, should be punished. And it's up to you whether you want to stop what is about to happen. Well, you can't stop it, but you can.
Or do you agree?
Well, it depends on my ready in action. I think I said if it was against me that I would stop him. So
yeah.
On that basis, I should not intervene at this point.
And to be honest, if he's telling the truth, you know, temple thieves, and something horrible happens.
Ooh.
This is the hunger of Hadar, or the hunger of Thanatos, fundamentally. I love the description of this. You open up a gateway to the dark between the stars, a region infested with unknown horrors. 20-foot radius sphere of blackness and bitter cold appears, centered on a point within range and lasting for the duration. This void is filled with a cacophony of soft whispers and slurping noises that can be heard up to 30 feet away. No light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate this area, and creatures fully within it are blinded. The void creates a warp in the fabric of space, and the area is difficult terrain. Any creature that starts its area will take 2d6 cold damage. Any creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 acid damage as milky, otherworldly tentacles rub against it. Terrifying. But that is his go, and we then move to Firoz. Oh, Firoz, you are starting in oh dear. So no saving throw, you automatically take 2d6 cold damage. So that is 9 points. Oh, nice. I don't believe you were raging or anything.
No, I'm a fighter, so.
Well, you could have pretended. So that cold bites in at you, and you take 9 points of damage. Wow. You are blinded, and it is difficult terrain. What would you like to do?
Do I still have a rough idea of which way down the stairs is?
Are you an idiot?
I choose not to answer that question.
In the case, I might represent myself. You're on steps, so you've got a good idea that down is down. So that takes you sort of 10, 20, and as you step outside, 25
it's horrible in there.
Movement. Yeah, you hear the Slurping noises.
25 was that to there?
Yeah, 25 to there.
So I think we can only get to there.
Okay.
I'm nearly here.
So how much is that? What's your movement normally? Have you got
35?
35, you being a big cat man.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your go?
I think, given the benefits of it, and I'm not going to be able to do anything else, I'm going to dash the extra 5 foot.
Okay, no worries. Sounds good to me. Then we move to Bilios. Oh dear, you are stuck in this thing as well. And you take 7 points of damage. Oh, you've already got 6 points of damage on you, haven't you, Bilios? That
Yeah,
makes
it's
you
not going well, is it?
13 points of damage now. Cold damage. Horrible slurping noises. You are blinded. You are tripping over your own feet as these tendrils and tentacles are trying to stop you from moving through this darkness. What would you like to do?
I too am not an idiot, probably. So I'm going down.
Yeah, you know where up and down is basically, so it's up to you. But you want to go down, so each square is 10 foot. So 10, 20, 30 to there, and you are still in the darkness.
I am going to bonus action dash because rogues.
Yeah, rogues, absolutely.
Because rogues.
And just come out like Ace Ventura in the scene with the bats. Just, it's awful. It's so bad.
There is currently a sort of strange white tentacle still attached to you, twitching as you emerge from that darkness.
Just a proper shriek as he tries to get it off. Like, get it off, get it off! And yeah, then once I realise that I'm no longer in this horrible darkness, I'm going to try and get another arrow in this guy.
Okay.
Yes, I'm targeting him.
And it is. I think you were shooting at Ariana actually there.
Oh.
So confused by this. You were targeting. I'm not quite sure why that says, but it says.
I'm not sure how, because it says I'm targeting Thanatos on mine.
I know that is the full power of such a thing. That is really bizarre. But the good news is that the armor class of the Voice of Thanatos is only 12, so the 14 is actually a hit.
Did he cast Mage Armor?
Oh yeah. So Mage Armor gives him 3, so it will have put it up to 15. So that would be.
Wait, why did I help?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
But I will remind you. I don't know. You're not a subscriber, are you, at the moment? You don't have a hat point.
I do subscribe, but I'll save it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I might need it for re-rolling my next character.
Okay. You choose not to do that. And then this is a very dangerous one because we move to Lucius, and Lucius has only got 12 hit points, and the cold damage is 2d6.
Acceptable. I will absorb elements.
Okay, that sounds good. So as a reaction, I don't want to be the kind of GM that says, let's just wait for that a moment. But let's just wait for that a moment because I am very keen. This is for my own benefit. I'm just trying to. My whole Fantasy Grounds is slowing down to nothing. There we go. So I just want to have a quick look at absorb elements. The spell captures some of the incoming energy lessened on you for your next melee attack. You have resistance. Effects or engage for your next attack. You have resistance trigger and type also. Yeah, that's okay. Reaction when you which you take when you take acid cold. Yeah, I wanted to see whether you had to see the damage because you are blinded, but you absorb that, and that gives you resistance to cold. So the 8 damage is reduced down to only 4, and you absorb some of that cold for your next attack, which is good. You are currently, though, in this horrible area of effect of darkness. You are blinded. What would you like to do?
Well, first off, that will also pop Arcane Ward, so I'll grab 7 temporary hit points.
Yep, we can do that. Yep, that's on your character.
Perfect. And I will go ahead and dash my way forward, and then brush off my robes because burp.
Yeah. So each square is 10 foot, so you can go sort of 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. You have technically got another 2 squares worth of movement if you want it, but you are now out of the effect. Very nice. And I think that's the end of your turn as well, isn't it?
Yep.
And then we move to Ariana. Thieves should be punished, he says.
Oriana is going to look at the 3 people who've just emerged from the inky blackness, and she will use her thaumaturgy to make her physical form imposing, like the flowing hair, the dark eyes, the flickering shadows, and turn to them and say, "What have you done?"
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Lucius just turns and stares at Bilius.
Well, there were 3 people tied up, so we let them loose.
Have you defiled this temple by stealing from it? She looks straight at Bilius at this point.
Let's find out, shall we? Let's see how well I roll this, and we'll role play off that. No.
You can do an insight roll if you want, but it is bilious, let's face it.
Okay. If it's still my turn, I will disengage from the voice of Thanatos. I'm going to come to Bilius. And I'm going to start by saying, whatever you have taken, put it back now, or I will make you.
Yeah,
I ain't
Billy.
going back through that thing. I'll just, well, when it comes to my turn, I'll put the ring down on the ground.
Okay, so you look like you are doing this. The voice of Thanatos reaches out with its mind and is going to target you, Firos. And he says, when death comes for you, rigor mortis sets in, and you shake it off as he
didn't even want this potion. Why did I do it?
As he casts hold person on you, but you resist it, and then it's your turn, Firos.
Don't try to do those things to me. I'm gonna pull the longsword out and try to knock him out.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely hit. Resist it. He has to make a con save. Needing 10 or more. Ooh, that is a 4 in his con, is that? So you knock it out and this horrible thing vanishes. He looks upon you I will not try to paralyze you next time. I will send you to my domain instead. I'm assuming, Feroz, is that the end of your turn?
Worryingly, yes.
And then we move to Bilios.
So is the voice of Thanatos still kicking around?
Yes, it absolutely is. And it just looks like he's going to send Feroz to the underworld.
Okay. I will bring the gold ring out, kiss it, and then flick it towards him, and go catch, and hopefully while he's distracted, get a shot off at him.
Cinematically, I love it. So give me a deception roll. This will be against its insight. There's going to be a wisdom. Its wisdom check is going to be that. So it's managed to do a 10. So give me a deception roll. If you manage to beat a 10, you do distract him. Unfortunately, that is a 10. So he just about meets you. So it's still a shot. Now, do you consider Oriana an ally or an enemy at the moment? Just think very carefully.
I'd say an ally.
Okay, that's okay. As long as you consider it being an ally, that's the correct answer, basically. So you're not tacking with disadvantage at the moment. Yeah, you need to target him, but boom, you're.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. A 12 is unfortunately a miss with his mage armor. If you're a subscriber, you do indeed have a reroll should you wish it.
Yeah, you know what? This time I might use that.
Things are looking a little dire. Let us target him for you. So you're now targeting the voice. Give us a reroll. Oh,
Nope.
even
Can't
worse.
roll for
Even
toffee
worse.
today.
And then we move to Lucius. You do have a disengage. You do have a move. You do have your cunning action, by the way, Bilius.
Yeah, no, I am going to use that to 5, 10. I'm going to try and hide behind the skull.
Okay, he literally sees you run all the way down there.
Is there enough room to sort of like get?
So at the very best, what you will do
so that he
is
can't,
you'll get
like,
cover.
Throw anything at me. Yes,
yeah.
I would like to cower.
Unless he moves, and in which case he will see you. Oriana, would you like an attack of opportunity?
It's really tempting.
I'm in no way telling you how to play your character. You play it however you want. But I'd just like to point out you do have reactions, and if you feel that you should, then you can. But don't feel like you need to.
I think she would give him a really hard stare because that throwing of a ring was not how she expected a respectful return of somebody else's property. So there would have definitely been a very hard stare in his direction. But
Okay.
I don't think he would actually try and trip him up yet.
Perfect. That is absolutely fine. So we do then move to Lucius. What would you like to do?
Whereabouts did the ring land?
It's kind of in this area here, sort of. It's round to where he is, basically.
Yep, not getting that close. I'll go ahead and continue the Toll the Dead attack at top options.
Okay, that's fine. You do know that he's resistant to necrotic damage, just so you know.
Yep, I just don't want to burn what I think is my last spell slot.
That is absolutely fine. So force him to make a save. He is successful, unfortunately, and he takes no damage whatsoever. And then
I will slide back towards the stairs.
Up the stairs, absolutely. Then we move to Oriana.
At this point, she's beginning to wonder whether she's been saddled with a bunch of absolute idiots who just have no understanding of how to be respectful to a god, even if it's a god you don't like.
Yeah.
So she will probably say something in a sort of a wide sweeping kind of voice about you are being very disrespectful and complete idiots. And then she will address the voice of Thanatos and say that these people are behaving like children. They clearly have not been taught to be respectful, and they will be punished for that. And they should not have done those things. She can't really say, "Can we leave, please?"
No.
Because it's like
just as a flavour and a kind of law type thing, as a priestess of another god, of Hecate, you can demand that they are yours to do with. They fall under your god's shadow, as it were, and therefore they are out of bounds to other gods. But making that challenge, they don't have to accept it. They can obviously try and upset Hecate. It depends whether Hecate is going to favour that decision, because you're speaking upon their behalf. But you can issue that kind of challenge if you want, putting them under yours and therefore Hecate's protection.
Yeah, I think when she says that they have behaved like children and they need to be punished, but they also need an opportunity to learn, which is something that is very much Hecate's umbrella, giving them a choice going forward about their behavior, and that the punishment will be mine to mete out and Hecate's to mete out, not from Thanatos.
So with this, there is a meeting of powers of minds, and for this to stick, you're going to have to use your action, and you can choose. It needs to be, in effect, a social skill. So you could choose, obviously, intimidation. You could choose persuasion. You could choose deception, depending on how you feel and what you are doing. And if you are successful, it will affect the way. If you are not successful, he will not consider it an option.
I would persuade rather than intimidate the voice of a god. It seems unwise, given that he is already angry, or they are already angry with us, to try to intimidate them. And as from her point of view, as a priestess, yes, they have transgressed. Yes, they do need to pay. So she's not lying to him. Even, as far as she's concerned, there does need to be consequences, and they need to do better, and they need to learn, and they're not getting away with it scot-free when they get out of here.
Okay, so yeah, make this persuasion roll.
She fails horribly.
That is a 15. That is just a success. He says, take them then. Take them. But be warned, the power of your goddess wanes as she begins to leave. My brothers, sisters are coming. The new gods will be here soon. So that is your go. He does this, and with that, he collapses to the floor, and he is no longer the voice of Thanatos. He is oops, wrong one. Where are you? Boom, boom, Savas. Again. So technically you are not in initiative at the moment. unless people want to continue with things. So feel free to roleplay.
Firoz is going to very gingerly start to walk towards the stairs.
I think Oriana is looking at all of them, still probably employing that sort of thaumaturgical kind of dark visage of kind of anger and wrath and stuff, watching them all as they kind of start to move without saying anything to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Lucius, why did you say to take the potion?
Because it's a temple to a false god. If we don't challenge them, we are going to lose our gods.
These things hurt my brain.
Here, pass me the potion. Go toss me the ring. I'll take them back up there. It'll be fine. Just fine.
Okay.
So Firoz puts these, the party sheet. The ring, is in the party sheet as well as you go and collect it from down there. So Lucius, you have both of those items at the moment. You can see the others sort of coming down here now, having heard the commotion, and then sort of, is everything what was going on there? And these come down and join you.
Apparently, the new owner of this place took a dislike to us for, letting you guys go and stuff.
We should be able to get out of here. We should be able to reward you. They say for our release. It is concerning. We heard what they said about the old gods retreating. Is it true, priestess? Is it true? There is fear in their eyes.
No, it is not true.
You give them some succor and encouragement as they kind of nervously nod and smile. Good. And let us be gone from this accursed place.
First, let us be sure that we have returned all that was falsely taken from here. If any of you bears any items that were taken from the shrine when we leave here, then I will strike you down myself. You do not steal from a temple. Are we clear?
All three of us will go. We did look. Many of those items were probably taken from us, but we haven't claimed them back. We'd rather leave satisfied with our lives.
She looks at Firoz and Bilios.
Firoz, this tall, powerful Leonin, looks at Oriana and then backs down very quickly. No, I've not got anything. I'm sorry.
Bilious looks sheepish.
She'll call out to Lucius. Hurry up, Lucius.
Coming.
Okay, so Lucius is relieving himself of many of the items.
When he comes back, she will ask him exactly the same question, or make the same statement on the assumption that he may well not have heard it in the first place.
Okay.
Oh yes, of course. I put back the mask, statue, ring, and what looked to be a potion.
Everything.
That was all that was taken.
Okay, let's go then.
Okay. Yeah, you seem to have moved closer to the child, Firoz.
Yeah, Firoz is going to pick up the child and throw him over his shoulder.
Okay. Not a heavy weight to you, as you kind of give him an easy lift, and you begin to head out. You begin to leave this place, this temple that has been claimed by another god. Okay. The journey back through the Valley of Whispers is uncomfortable and unnerving. How do you spend it? Are you now walking in silence, or are you having conversations?
I think that it would depend how close Oriana is to people.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Oriana is terrifying. You
So,
speak with the power of a god.
so yeah, I mean it's quite a long journey. It's going to take you a good couple of hours to descend the mountain. So if you do want to roleplay, if you do want to have conversations, have conversations. If not, we can cut scene. I'm assuming you're going to return to the vineyard with the child, but that is an assumption. Well, perhaps I should really, as a GM, say, where are you headed to? Not making assumptions. So where are you headed to?
I think heading to the vineyard seems like a good idea.
Yep.
I
I'll
have a quick-
sidle up to Firoz on the way down and say, not whisperedly, but hopefully not loud enough for most people to hear. It's like, I'm pretty sure that ring didn't belong to them anyway. It smelled like the sea, which Thanatos Sea, definitely not his. Just saying.
Yeah, but I don't know this religious stuff very well, but I don't think taking stuff from gods is good, it seems.
Apparently not, but we did knock out his voice, or not his voice, the kid that was his voice, and then the other one became his voice. There was a lot of voicing going on there. Either way, I think we pissed him off.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. I think we probably want to avoid pissing off gods.
Especially Hecate.
Oh God, she's terrifying.
She's looking at us. Shut up. Keep walking.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hi, Oriana. Nothing to see here.
Why are you acting suspiciously, Firoz?
No, nothing. Please, no.
It's very unlike you to behave like this. What's the problem? Can I insight him just to make sure he hasn't been possessed or something?
absolutely, give me an insight roll.
Because this kind of cowering business is unexpected.
Give me an insight roll. That's very strong. Firstly, I don't believe, Firoz, you're trying to be deceptive, are you?
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally, no. Yeah. Is your reaction to Oriana sort of truthful? Are you genuinely concerned about?
Oriana showed off quite a lot of power in that room, especially bartering with a god. Firoz is very much, when he's been in the Gladiator, a lot of it has been a lot of show, and coming up against somebody with real power like that.
And if the gods are not on your side, it doesn't matter what kind of skill you have in life and death situations. If the gods are not fighting for you, then you have no hope. So that is what you think, Oriana. You think that whether it's you or whether it's you're the voice of Hecate, he's beginning to understand maybe responsibilities.
Okay. Good. Excellent.
Bilios, on the other hand. What is Lucius looking like, feeling, saying at the moment, and this sort of 2-3 hour journey back?
Oh, predominantly acting old manish. Obviously, this journey is too much for my old bones. Lots of rubbing, aches, and pains, and predominantly sticking towards the back of the party.
Okay.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep. Fair enough. You wind down the mountain. Eventually, the whispers of the Valley of Whispers begin to fade, and you come into the beautiful vineyards and golden fields of wheat of this beautiful Ionian island. And very soon you find yourself back at the vineyard, the Calikas vineyard. By this point, it's a good couple of hours. The kid has woken up. Are you still restraining and carrying him, or are you sort of making him sort of walk ahead of you?
I think Firos will just keep carrying him, and if he starts squirming too much or complaining too much, they might get him a little punch.
Okay. He does initially, and then he stops, and as you journey continues, just before you get into the graveyard, he whispers in your ear, "I know you."
Do you?
Yes.
Good for you.
My father thought he could control me too.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and control you. Just going to knock you out again.
We will see.
Well, we'll see, yeah.
Okay, and you arrive back. The woman, the mother, is overjoyed to see son returned, and she can't thank you enough. She does send him to his room, though, while she speaks with you. You're uncertain whether he's going to do a runner, whether he's going to try and return to that place or not. But for the moment, the mystery has been resolved. And she says, I know it's not a lot of coin, but you did this for good reasons, and it seems that I cannot allow you to go empty-handed. She passes a bag of coins across to you all, really. Let us get rid of all of this lovely loot that you could have had. Oops.
Bye-bye nice gold rings and magical potions.
God dear, my fancy grounds is suffering tonight. Boom, 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 boom. So she hands you a fair amount of coin across. And says, I hope this will make up for your time and efforts. And you can see that there is a amount of coins. Do you separate this between the four of you?
Can split it equally.
Yeah.
Think.
Sure.
So you get 105 gold pieces and 142 silver pieces each. She is or was a fairly wealthy landowner owning this vineyard, and you have retrieved her son for her, and she is overjoyed. She says the coin is obviously whatever you wish to do, donations to temples, purchasing more of our products. She looks at you, Bilius. It is your coin to do with whatever you want. You notice that there is a sadness to her as she is concerned about the future, what that has in store with her and her son. Is there anything you want to say or do?
You'll definitely need to do something to keep him managed, lest he fall down this path again.
No. I mean, his father was the one that tried to keep him in order, but I say he has unfortunately passed. I will do what I can. I will do what I can. And with that, she bids you farewell, thanking you very much for all of your help in returning her lost child to her, who might still secretly be lost, but in a different way.
Before we leave, we should take that extra hand off your hands.
Oh, of course I forgot. Please, yes, that accursed thing. Please take it. Do with it whatever you need. And obviously, you go back to the place. I think you dug a hole, if I remember rightly, and you uncover it, and it's lying there untouched. This box, and as you move the box, so it's almost like it animates again and starts banging upon it. The box begins to shake a little bit. It's not going to be able to break its way out of it, though. It's contained for the moment.
I'll pass that over to Oriana. I'm sure the clerics can handle this better than we can.
I'm certain they can, but seeing as we are all going to the temple, then it doesn't really matter who carries it.
I have a previous appointment.
Bilius.
Lazarus.
No, Bilius.
I think you'll find that
is good.
I think you'll find, Bilius, that you don't have anything more pressing than going to Hecate's temple.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
I'm sure when you're there, you can go and celebrate.
I do like celebrating, especially the fact that, we lived, there was a whole thing, we'd missed everything, and we're alive. So that's good. First round's on Lazarus.
Yes. Definitely wait until you finish with Hecate's temple, though, first.
Cool. I'll see you guys at the olive branch. As I walk behind the group grumbling.
Okay. So it seems very much like you are heading back into town towards the area of Hecate's temple. There's a number of temples in the same sort of square. As you walk through this perhaps once idyllic settlement, though, this beautiful white stone, the sea blue, reaching a blue sky on the horizon, the vineyards a distance away, the smell of the orange and olive trees. There's something going on. You don't know whether it is paranoia, but as you begin to make your way through, it's subtle little things. You see people arguing, people lying, sad, miserable people sleeping. All of these signs of the new gods. signs of Hypnos, the god of sleep, Momus, the god of blame, Oasis, misery, Nemesis, revenge, Pete, deceit, and Eris, strife. Subtle, not overpowering, and maybe it's just your imagination reading far much into what is going on. Soon you arrive at the Temple of Hecate. What would you like to do here? What is your purpose of bringing them to the temple?
Oriana's intention is that they present themselves to the priest of the temple because she has stood for them to say the punishment for stealing from the temple is hers and Hecate's to give them. So from her point of view, she is delivering them to Hecate's voice to be able to hear what Hecate's will is.
Okay, that is a big one. Do you freely go into the temple to sit in judgment of Hecate herself?
Firoz will. And he might have to drag Bilios in.
Yeah, there's definitely some dragging going on.
Okay. What of you? You were sort of following from behind. Are you, Lucius, going to accept the judgment of Hecate upon you? I believe it's kind of your house's god.
It is. So I will make my way in, but scoot off to the side and sit somewhere towards the back. My knees need a rest. It's been a long one.
It has, and you are not getting any younger. So the priest says to you, this is the high priest, or high priestess rather, sorry, to you, Oriana. It has been a trying number of nights. It is as if she is gone silent. I've not felt her presence. Maybe it's me. Maybe I have done something wrong.
I do not believe that to be the case. I have troubling news. While we were away, we met with a child who said that they were the chosen one of Thanatos.
Thanatos is nothing but is not a true god.
Hades' temple shrine up in the hills is no longer there. It is dedicated now to Thanatos. Thanks to the child and to the seer, but there is no consequences. Hades has not done anything to prevent this. They claim that he is retreating because he is afraid of what is coming.
What is coming? What do you mean?
The child has sacrificed to read the entrails of a human, a villager, I think. And he could see, I could also see when I looked later, when I came upon it. He talks of the red wind, and I'll see if there's any response when I say those words.
Give me an insight roll. Very good. Yeah, it's subtle, but he reacts, and there's a look of fear upon his face. And he trusts you. You have been good to your duties and your devotions. The red wind, the blood wind, that is but myth. That is, say, it cannot be true. And then he begins to speak to you about the red wind, which we will start the next session with. We will leave it on that cliffhanger there. Excellent, well done. You have returned safely. A very interesting, very role-play-esque kind of encounter, almost bringing sort of party members to blows. What is right and wrong, what is the right way to treat gods, or even their voices or avatars, even if they are opposed to your ideals. Beautiful session. Thank you very much. Next session, we will find out what this red wind or this blood wind is, and why Hades in particular is so terrified of it. Much to do. Thank you very much, everybody in chat, for following. Thank you players. I say we couldn't literally do it without you. I hope everybody's had fun watching. Tomorrow night we will be delving into Shadowless, 10:30 through to midnight. That is our version of the Underdark. And yes, a large amount of drow warriors have arrived. What could this possibly mean? And then we're going to be doing an interesting stream on Monday, Bank Holiday Monday. We've got from 10 in the morning to 4 o'clock, a twisted narrative version of one of the new or one of the old domains of dread that has been redone ready for Von Richten's guide to Ravenloft. I'm really looking forward to doing that as well. So hopefully you can join us for those things. But in the meantime, have an absolutely wonderful Easter Sunday and Easter Monday. Hope you get plenty of goodies. Enjoy, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks very much for tuning in. Take care, everybody.